Hello, everyone. Ellen Campbell here. I'm so glad you could watch my video. How you doing today? If you're new to my channel, do hit the subscription button. Select all, and you'll be notified anytime I go live. Um, I'm working on the sawtooth star block, and I want to do it live. I'm just trimming my dog ears from these blocks here. This is my first run, and I'm gonna do the video on it. I have my squares. They're cut. I have my larger squares, and I have labeled them. They're cut. And I have my finished squares. For my background colors, they're cut. So I'm going to lay these and these here on this edge. Flip these over because I have my label on them. The way I made these half square triangles here is I took one my background and one of my point color, and I put them right sides together, line them up. Front red, back white. Then I lay them down and I take my ruler, which I have to use my cutting ruler, and I line it to the points from point to point on the fabric, which is on the white side. And then I just take my little pen or pencil and I mark that line. Make a little line. It don't have to be a full drawn, just enough to have as a guide. Then I lay this aside and I get on my machine, which I have the walking foot on my machine, and I measure out my 1/4 inch away from that line, and I ease up where I drop my needle at, and I set the feet down, and I begin to sew. This can be done in a chain stitch as well, but I'm not chain stitching these at the moment because I just want to do like a test run. And all right, once I get done with that, you can see the stitches. Then I find the line and I cut my center dead on that line I draw as a reference. Ta-da! Now I lift this up and I press that seam to the dark side of the fabric, which open it up. I finger press it. I finger press the other one. There you go. Now you see the dog ears sticking out. I go on and I take my scissors and I trim out the dog ears. Once that is trimmed out, I go back to my board, which is my cutting mat, and I measure my blocks for accuracy. I need to trim this one off. And I lay that one too. Once you get through trimming your blocks and measuring them out, they should come out to a perfect 3-inch square. Once you have your squares done and they 3 inches, you can press them out, check them all, and then I began to put them together. Ooh. Okay, to put them together, I lay it out. And these are going to be my points, so I want to make sure everything lines up. And you have to make You have to make 6 of these blocks. Okay, I need to move these to have some more space. Sit them here. Oh, hi, Ann Jones. I'm so glad you can join me. How are you doing? I have to stop and check my messages a minute. Welcome aboard. If this is your first time joining me, welcome. I'm working on a sawtooth star quilt block, and I'm just laying out my pieces at the moment to get them in the right directions. This is looking nice. Very nice. If I can get these points to lay where they're supposed to lay. Okay. Okay. I can't pick it up and show it to you all, but I'm doing good, Ann. Just been puzzled on this star, and I'm working on putting this star block together. And in the process of putting it together, we also have the seam allowance we have to consider. So keeping that in mind. I like it when I have everything I already cut out and ready to go. Okay. Now I have them labeled. I use these type of Dollar Tree labels, and I label the measurements and stuff on each stack, each cuttings I have to cut for the project. So I'm going to start with my center here. Put them right sides together. Using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And this walking foot is awesome. I thought it was going to be a little bit too noisy for me, but it is awesome. Oh, that look nice. Okay. I sewed those two together, which give me the flying geese like this. Now I'm going to add my bottom square. Using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And press that. Let the darkest side, let it lay behind the darkest side, that seam allowance. And it gives me that. As I continue, lining up these corners, using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I do have a marking here on my machine where I went on and took a marker and marked my machine for future references. Okay. I'm knocking them down. Okay, I lost the block. But this is that row for these. And the next one I will start on this side. Putting these right sides together, which gonna create the flying geese section for the other side. And I try to line up these on the end so the point will meet. That point meet and it'll look clean. Using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay. See that point? Okay. Okay. Now we'll add my corner block to the bottom. Using my 1/4 inch seam allowance. Let me line this up a little better. Okay. Nice, right there. You can't rush it. Sometimes you have to take your time and make sure you got it lined it up. So Basically, so you won't have to seam rip it back out. And press it to the red side. I'm just finger pressing it for now. Once I am done with the block, I will hit it with a little bit of steam. I need another block. Right side up. Okay, getting it matched. Whoops, I keep knocking my blocks down. Okay. Using my 1/4-inch seam allowance. It's something I have to check often to make sure my seam allowance is where it's supposed to be. Okay, here that blocks. Well, here both of them. I'm gonna lay those there. Go home and get this here sewn. Nice. Press it open to the red fabric. I have this side done. So it lays on this side. I have the square. So the next thing I will do is put the flying geese for the bottom together, line up the seams. I always start with my seams and then take it in for its 1/4-inch seam allowance. Once it's lined up, go ahead and run that seam. And by me using my walking foot, you have to pay attention to your seam allowance. I press that open. Have that flying geese ready. And it goes at the bottom. Now we'll do the top. See how I have them together? I have to make sure that I put them together right sides together. And I start with this seam. Once you get that point lined up, you can go ahead and measure out your 1/4-inch seam allowance, which I have mine marked. You can also use tape. Use tape to mark your 1/4-inch seam allowance on your machine. Since I knew I was going to be sewing a lot, I went on, took a marker and just made a line. But that marker, you can get that off as well with alcohol. Cleans it with alcohol. Okay, I just finger press that out. Okay, and that is the top. Flying geese, and that goes in up here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and apply this top flying geese to the center block. Using, let me slide that over. my 1/4 inch seam allowance, 1/4, or should I say 1/4 inch. And it's important to keep your 1/4 inch seam allowance, because if you go over that allowance or use more than you're supposed to, you will see it in your point. Your point on your flying geese. I done took them a loose. I'll take them a loose and take them a loose until I get that point right. Okay. That was close. Very close. Finger pressing this seam open. And this is the first one I have sewn. The most important part right now is maintaining your points. I will go ahead and now sew the bottom one on. Okay. 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 Have that one done. Save the points. Now I will turn it around and add one of these sets to the other side. And adding these to the sides. I have to pay attention to my seams and which way they are laying, so I can get this 1/4 inch seam allowance in here. All the way to the finished edge. On this block, you do have to nest your seams. Nest your seams. Finger press. When I'm all done, I hit it with some steam. Well, a little bit further, a little closer. Hi, June. How you doing? I'm so glad you could join me. Hi, Mila. I'm glad you could join me too. I'm working on the Sawtooth Star quilt block. I began to participate in some of my swap groups, and this is one of the blocks that we will be swapping. And since I've been working on the star quilts, the blocks and stuff, I figured why not do a sawtooth too? Just lining everything up to get that 1/4 inch seam allowance. I take my time, I pause, I pivot and I pause and I stop to check my seams to make sure that they are nesting. And then I continue. Stop again. I'd rather check twice and sew once. That way I don't have to rip anything out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. I don't have my iron turned on tonight, but I need to iron it and trim it up. That is what I wanted to show y'all and do. What y'all working on tonight? Maya just said the sawtooth is one of her favorite blocks to make. That's good. This is a new block for me though. I like making the star blocks. I mean, I just love making them. I don't know what my next block challenge might be, but right now these blocks with the stars just, oh, I'm just sucking them up right now. I'm enjoying making them. Get them pressed out, steam up, iron up, and trim them up to make sure they're at the measurement they're supposed to be. I guess there's really not much trimming I want to do, but I want to make sure it's what it's supposed to be. I might wind up taking this one back a loose because I see an area in it where I would like to redo it. June says, I'm not done. I've not done one before. So we'll be coming up and making. Okay, making blocks out of the farm book. Okay. From Lori Houghton. I hope I'm reading that right. My computer is kind of sitting a little distant from me, and these are my reading glasses, but it's still kind of hard to see in that distance. I thank y'all for watching my video. Do share. Get the subscriptions up, and when I get to 200 subscribers, I'll be doing another giveaway. I have decided that I'm gonna keep the little boxes I got. This is just one I have prepared already. And it's silver. And it has a blue tone of fabric. I went on and took my fabric and cut them into 2.5-inch squares. I decided this is what my giveaways will be about. And the person that get it will have sort of like a kit. If they want to add to it, they're more than welcome to add to them. I'm working on some red. And I have some more colors I'm going to get to cutting out and stuff. Because as I go, I got to have at least 10 of these boxes for each 100 subscriber. 100 subscriber up to 1,000 to give away. Maya said, don't forget to like. Thank you, Maya. I appreciate that. Please like my channel. I wasn't going to stay on long, but I thank y'all for watching, and do share my video. Anybody have any questions about anything, just message me. I forgot to put my email in this link, but one of the other ones have my email under it. In case you don't have it, it's coffeeflake1965@gmail.com. If you have a question, you can message me there. And I also have another email, which is campbellscreations2015@gmail.com. You can reach me there. Thank you for watching. Do like, share, subscribe if you're new to my channel. Ann said, can I see it? Yes. This is the block. Can you see my mistake? Well, in case y'all don't see it, it's here. And I will go back and I will take that loose. Before I press my fabric, I'm going to take it loose and I'm going to redo it. I'm not going to trim anything until I take that loose and rework that. I like my seams to line up. And as you can see on this one here, one seam is here and the other seam is over here. So I'm going to go back and figure out what went wrong on that, and I will be ripping it loose and restitching it. Maya said, okay, have a good evening. Yes, I'm going to go and let y'all go. I'm going to say good night, and I'm showing y'all this block. I had never did this before, this kind of block here. I did the Evening Star block with T quilts, but I hadn't did this sawtooth star. And this my first turnout. So I'm gonna have to go back, take that apart and fix it. But it's not a big deal. It's a part of sewing. You gonna make a mistake and you just rip it out and sew it right on back. Everything won't come out perfect, but y'all can see that for y'allself. When I'm done, it will be perfect. Thank y'all for watching. I'm going to go on, let y'all go. Have a great night. Y'all have a great night. Good night. Thank y'all for joining me. Good night.